You want me to rap? Or I'll lay down a beat and Dom can rap.
Okay. My name is Dom, and I'm here to say I like to have drink almost every day.
I love how you're like, my name is Dom.
Can you do better, Hugh?
I wouldn't start a rap with my name is Hugh. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Patches In podcast. I'm here with my co-hosts, Dom,
Alright, guys.
and some guy called Hamish.
Oh, hey, it's me, some guy called Hamish. The reason everyone tunes in.
Hey, don't make us bring back up the poll. Right, okay. I'm sure it's been a really exciting week for everybody. We've all been up to, like, really cool things.
Oh, mate, the coolest. I can't even, like, I would just blow our listeners' minds if I told you some of the stuff I've been up to. It's just wild, mate.
Hey, lockdown's been eased. Have you been out the pub?
Not since that last time I told you about where I got absolutely steaming in with seeing double. I think I'm gonna relax on the pub for a wee while. I got my fill for the summer, like in that one evening.
You hit it hard, you hit it fast, and that was you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I like how you've hit it so hard that you cancelled out your summer when we're still in spring.
I'm proactive, Tom. I'm planning ahead. I've not really been,
last week. Since last week, you were telling us about your drinking escapades. Have you got any other cool stories now?
Mate, it's always cool when I drink. At least that's what I tell myself when I'm crying.
Have you got any pets at home stories to tell us? Any drilling through your hand stories?
I can't hit out with these all the time here. People will think I'm just a disaster.
Mess.
Yeah.
I like how some people make these stories up. Hamish has to hold some back.
Get away the listeners.
It has actually been quite a chilled out kind of quiet week. Just gym, then drinking, then working. That's basically all I've been doing. Actually, I don't have any exciting stories. Can you just all rest on me? Why don't you tell us an exciting story, Dom? What have you been doing?
So, man, I would actually say, yeah, similar sort of story with Hamish, because that's us, like, because lockdown being relaxed, you can actually go to a gym properly, and it's been like a much better experience doing that. You miss that atmosphere, you miss the weights, but my God, man, I was fucking done for like 2 days after it.
Aye, the first day back is just a nightmare, innit? It's so bad.
I was dying. I was in a like puddle of my own sweat, just like couldn't move. And then I was like, oh shit, I've got to get up for work. So you know when your legs are just like jelly, and then you live up like 3 stories, and you go, oh, you can walk down the stairs, but you can't walk back up the stairs.
Get comfortable because
you
you're not going back.
Yeah, and then you get up the stairs and you put your stuff down. You sit down for a second, and you realise you have a dog that needs to.
You have to go for a walk.
You have to go for a walk. You're like, fuck.
Did Jason come in and go, no, I ran 13 miles?
Big fit Jason, as they call him now. Fit bit
Yeah.
Jason.
I don't want to interrupt your story, but I also saw Jason last night, and he was a little drunk, right? As you
A
know,
little?
because Dom picked us up from my mum and dad's house. I mean, my mum and dad's back garden. So, like, Jason, I didn't realise how drunk he was, but he was just kept telling me about his 13 miles, and at first I was like, oh, that's really good, man. But by the 4th or 5th time he told me, I was like, look, man, I don't actually care.
I can only feign interest for so long.
But you had to tell you at least 13 times. That's why it's so impressive.
And I was like, how would you feel if I told you, oh, I lifted this amount in the gym? He's like, I can do that too. And I was like, that's not the point of what I'm trying to get at. He's like, I can do that and run 13 miles. I was like, Jason, you know what? I don't want to hear this. He's like, but 13 miles, right? And like, I love that he's doing it. It's great. I will support him. But there's only so many times I can tell him well done. Like, there's only so much congratulations you can give before you just go, shut up.
I don't know if
It's so enthusiastic about it, because you got to remember this is the guy when we were away in Japan.
Oh, we got it in.
What was that? Like 4 minutes or something?
But this is from a guy that was struggling to like walk long distances.
Yeah,
You know,
he was really bad in Japan.
It's like a completely different person. But
I
Yeah,
know he's done really well.
it's I can understand like it, but it's like yeah, he's just enthusiastic. Like fuck, man, I can run this far. Do you know how many
I know.
miles that is? And you're like 13 miles.
It's good. It's good going.
Aye, good on him though. But yeah, like I can remember like picking his drunk ass up and you coming out going, "Damn man." I was like, he's not that bad, is he? And I could see him stammering out, giggling with the hiccups. I'm like, oh man, he's fucked.
Mate, when you dropped me off last night, I was getting out the back of your car and you've got like a 2 door, so I had to kind of like squeeze myself like out.
Yeah, what actually
And, like,
happened? Because he was
mate,
just giggling. I was like, what
He,
the
sla- he slapped my arse really hard, like with his giant fucking gorilla hands, and like I was like, the fuck, and like he couldn't stop laughing,
Right.
but he was giggling like a chimp, like he was like hee.
Yeah.
Like,
Because
and
he
I
got
came up-
back. He got back into the car and he couldn't make a sentence because he was laughing so much, like tears down his face. I'm like, what is so funny? He was like, yeah. I'm like, what?
Jesus.
So I got up the stairs and I said to Sinead, like, did you hear that? And she's like, I heard Jason. I was like, yeah, you did, yeah. I was saying to my dad, like, Jason was shouting at me from like the hall. I was saying to my dad, I was like, you ever had a TV that was just up too loud? Like, and you hear that crackling where it like obviously peaks. That's Jason's voice. Like, it's all bass, it's all low frequency shit. Does that make sense to him?
Yeah, it's like I can understand that was very low, but then when he's laughing, it goes really, really high pitched.
Right.
Like, it was so like bizarre, but that makes so much more sense because like he just kept laughing. I got Hugh, and I was like, "What do you mean you got Hugh?" But he
Yeah,
doesn't remember. I was like, "You remember what you were saying to me in the car?" He's like, "No, man, I just remember having toast and playing League."
He's a big fan, ain't he?
Oh.
I
Look at that. He's a lovable fanny.
he listens to this on and off. I hope he listens to this one.
No, we'll make sure he does.
Well, I'll tell my stories for the week now. I have no stories because I spent the week studying for an interview on Thursday and
How'd it go?
it went really well. So hopefully I can get that and go back to wasting my life playing games. I hope to get back to streaming on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday streaming. Seeing as I keep getting mad passive aggressive comments all the time in the chat.
That is funny, but it's so funny to do
Because
that.
like sometimes I'm like tired and like I'll have been doing like the studying or whatever and there'll be a passive aggressive comment and I'm like, fuck you guys, like I guess
It's not even the not streaming, it's the just tell us if you're not going to stream and we can try and make other plans.
well the thing is like unless I actually say I'm going to stream Tuesday, Thursday, I'm not streaming Tuesday, Thursday.
Alright, well you just said it there so we can hold you to that.
Yeah, you can. This week I don't have any plans. Unless they come back with like, another interview, but like I doubt it. So I want to get back to streaming.
I didn't say that I was not streaming. Like,
Aye,
fucking got you.
I want to put a couple of polls up. I'm going to get a couple
yeah.
of games together and put like say like what should I play?
Yeah.
Like I'm hoping no one says like a fucking Persona 5 level game or something like that, or I'll be streaming that forever.
No, just put
Just
polls
do
where you
something.
choose the games, mate.
From what I was like when you were saying the last time with some games you wanted to play, I heard that you were wanting to play Enslaved for like the longest time. And
Yeah, it was
few
actually.
people have been telling me because I'm actually watching people do a retrospective of the Hobbit movies.
Yeah,
One of them was saying about Andy Serkis being in that. He plays
he's
Monkey.
the monkey. Yeah,
Yeah, and he says
you know,
it's like
Slaves
cut-
based off of the Journey to the West.
Yeah,
Yeah, like-
one that's loosely based on like Dragon Ball's loosely based on.
Look at that, Don. We're hitting all the beats. We're hitting all the good bits. When we mentioned Japan, right into Dragon Ball. You just wait till the games have been playing.
Hamish' face just dropped.
Mate, can't wait, mate.
Hamish, what do you mean? What you put in the chat? Hit the mute button. Mute button.
So, I've came to terms with you guys being super weebs. It's just one of those
Super
things now.
Yeah.
Look, man, you have to deal with our flaws. We deal with your flaws, right?
And if I ever have one, then yes, you will need to deal with it
Like, man,
when that
we
day
can
comes.
only see your face, and I've got a list. You
From
look
the
like
neck
Brock
down,
from
we've
Pokemon.
got- Sorry?
He looks like Brock from Pokemon.
Racist.
You fall in love easy, didn't you, Hamish?
I'm a romantic, yes. That's... Nothing
Mate.
wrong with that, Hugh.
I was trying to remember who's the
He's a rock type guy.
who's the nurse in
And
Pokemon?
Nurse Joy.
Nurse Joy, that's it. Hamish should be
Officer
all
Jenny
over Nurse
as
Joy,
well.
man.
Nurse Joy and Jenny. He
And
likes,
Officer
he likes the
Jenny.
lady. He likes a lady in uniform.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
See?
Hamish is like introspective. He's like, oh, fuck, if I based my personality off Brock from Pokemon. Fuck.
Could be.
Yeah, so my week, I have missed playing games, guys. The only game I have played is Odd Games of FIFA. I deleted it again because I had a bad time. So
Had a bad time.
I had a bad time.
I've played a few things. I tried out the show 21, you know, the baseball game on the Game Pass.
Yeah.
And all I have to report back is I know absolutely nothing about baseball.
Yep.
Yeah, like nothing at all. When you're starting your career, it's like, oh, so are you thinking like infield or outfield? And I'm like, yeah.
Just like I've got an any belly button.
What about, you know, shortstop or all these words? And I'm just like, yeah, you know, I'll do it. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I know absolutely nothing about it.
Why did you play it?
Why did I play it?
Yeah.
It's on Game Pass and it's free, and I thought, oh, I'll give it a shot. It's getting pure pushed. It's the big thing that you see when you open up Game Pass these days. But
It's getting pushed because Xbox are throwing it in PlayStation's face. Like, hey
Yeah.
guys, look what we got.
Also been playing a wee bit of Spyro, just getting some nostalgia. It's just such a chilled out wee game. I kind of always likened it to Crash, but see the difficulty differences is night and day, and I find Crash annoyingly difficult at times.
Mm-hmm.
Just the controls a bit lanky and all that, but
Yeah.
Spyro's just cool, chill out game. And there's also a game here that I was streaming when Dom was unable to stream one night, and you're not going to be happy, Hugh.
Is it bears in it?
No. But you know how we are usually arguing about who's completed the most games?
Are you doing 1 hour games?
No.
No.
I was on for a few hours or something. I can't remember. I got
You only about 3 hours.
yeah. I got pretty
Okay.
drunk, so time meant nothing to me.
Yeah, because like you started just as I finished work, I was like, all right, okay. That was about 8:30, wasn't it?
Yeah. But so it's called the Stanley Parable. Don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I heard the name, yeah, I've not played it.
Yeah. Well, the name
Yeah,
Stanley.
I've played it.
Everyone's heard the name Stanley here.
Stanley
The name of the game, Hamish!
It's nothing to boast about, man. God's sake.
I
This
had played
conversation's
it.
taking a long time.
I've played the game before, Hamish, so that was like really excited when I seen that you were playing it. Cause I was like, oh, I wonder what he's going to do. And the first thing I was like, I bet he's not going to listen, and then you didn't. I was like, there it is. There it is.
Oh, that's a Hamish trait right there.
Like the very first kind of choice you get in the game is like one room in, and it's like there's like a red door and a blue door, and it's like there's a narrator. And it's like Stanley went through the red door, and I was like, nah, fuck you, narrator. I'm going this way. But the reason I wanted to bring it up, Hugh, was because that game has very, very numerous endings.
Right.
I've probably finished that game like 8 times at least. So
Yeah.
if you look at scoreboard of who's finished more games on Twitch, I think you'll find I'm way ahead of you now.
Nah, man, you finished the one game.
No.
multiple times. That's one game.
Different endings,
You
mate.
can't say I finished.
Nah, we said if you saw
games.
credits, then that counts, mate. And there
It's
was
the same-
credits each time.
It was the same set of credits each time.
Nah, it was different. It looked different. Different font and stuff, mate.
Like, I'm not taking that. We need to set up proper rules here. We
Alright,
can't have like.
I'll
we
listen
can't have-
to you when you complete as many games as I have, alright? When you get to that 8
Awesome.
mark or so.
So tell me what games you completed.
The Stanley Parable.
Oh, so the one.
Then the Stanley Parable. And then what was that one after that one? Oh, the Stanley Parable.
Hamish, remember you completed the Stanley Parable?
Oh yeah, thank you, Dom. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
So you've said the same thing multiple times.
Nah.
So that's one.
So are you saying that Dom playing through Undertale 3 times is only one game?
Yes.
No, it's not. It's different runs. It's nah.
It's the same game. You asked me, is it the same game? It's the same game.
All right,
Hamish,
so that means
if you're
then.
going to get involved in these arguments, you need to start watching online debate bros, because I know how to pedantic this up.
If we're not going to count more than one game, then you can only finish one Yakuza because they're all basically the same game. You can only finish one Final Fantasy because they're all basically the same game.
See, the difference there is, Hamish, Final Fantasy has multiple games in a series. You're playing the same game.
Nah, different endings. It's different.
Literally the same game.
Yeah, like the Final Fantasy games are
Like-
basically the same game.
This is going on. This is going on. Instagram.
Dude, we did have a guy that was on chat that was talking to us during that who did agree with us when we were talking. Does this count as different endings to a different game? Because technically, the way that the narration goes is completely different each time that you're playing it. So
Exactly.
it's not the same story.
That guy's an idiot, obviously.
Hey, he's one of the people who just subbed to our channel at twitch.tv/patches and gaming.
He's a patchling now, mate.
How dare you?
Right? Like, it's not a high IQ group in the first place. So
Hey, there's no point in going on about this because Hugh's just jealous that I've completed so many games. So yeah, let's move on.
So, again, can you list the games you completed?
I'm not going through this again, Hugh. Right, just stop being so butthurt. Right, just finish some games, get on Twitch, stream something for a change.
But it's such a 2010 insult, isn't it?
No. He's a boomer, mate. Look at him.
You're older than me.
Aye, but like, not like.
It's not on the inside.
No, on the inside. That's just my liver's fault, right?
Fucking hell.
Damn it, liver, process alcohol better. Right, so you streamed on Monday, Hamish, aye?
I did, yeah. Completed loads of games.
Right, okay. We can leave that up to the fans. How did it go? Did you have the ham audience there? Were they baying for the game's blood from you?
They were just telling me how it counted as loads of different games and endings. No, it was good. It was fun. It was, there wasn't loads of people in the chat. Mostly just Dom and this guy from Russia who had watched enough Limmy to understand us.
Yeah, it was such a weird sort of conversation to have, and then he was helping us out with like secrets and that. I was like, oh, look at that, when they did that with the keypad so you could get the achievements.
Yeah, because
So sad I missed that.
he'd played it quite a bit, so he was kind of guiding me through ways to get achievements and things like that. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it
it
was
got to about it was about like a half an hour, 45 minutes before the end of your stream. You were just pure like staring at the screen with your half your eyes closed, like, right, is this the same? Is this why am I back in the office? I think I'm doing this. And I was like, yeah.
And I was like, right, I think I need to stop there. And he was like, oh, come on, there's another ending that you can get, but it takes a wee while. And I was like, how long's a while? Thinking like, how long can I hold on here? And he was like, it's only about 20 minutes. And I was like, oh, okay, I can do that.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the better endings as well.
Yeah.
It's like that's what's so great about the Stanley Parable is that the narration, the voice acting for it is so strong, and the choices that you do make, and like the stories that sort of spider out from that, like a spider's web of like different ways of like you can basically follow what the narrator says, and that's it. That's what you get from the game. Then
Yeah.
you can go off the rails like Hamish did to begin with, and fuck everything up.
That's you could actually like take that as I know it's a Stanley parable, but it could be the Hamish parable. Here, this is what you need to do, and Hamish was like, "Well, I'm obviously going to do the opposite of that."
Yeah.
I love how your streams don't have like end times. It's just how long before Hamish collapses.
Yeah, it's usually just when I finish my drink, and then I'm like, that'll do. I mean,
Bedtime.
yeah. I mean, Dom's talking about how that was one of the better endings, and if I could remember it, I'm sure I would agree with him.
Are you planning on streaming again?
Yeah, I might do some tomorrow, but well, I might do something a few days ago. If you're listening to this podcast, so make sure to
Find it on the Instagram.
I'm at
you
it.
go back in time and when you hear this and watch my stream.
I'd quite like to do a multiplayer stream.
You just
But-
need friends now.
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
Oh, don't use aren't my friends. This is a business arrangement.
Yeah, but people can just keep an eye on the social stuff, like at Patchison on Twitter and Patchison Official on Instagram, stuff like that. We usually post stuff on there, and then Hugh doesn't stick to it, so...
see what I mean? You're bringing the passive aggression from the chat.
I know. He's so passive aggressive, isn't he? I love when he's like, "Oh, you know, it's streaming tonight, Hugh," and then I'm like, "You want to stream?" And he's like, "Nah."
It's because I'm a busy man, mate. I'm a popular guy. You know, I'm always doing stuff.
How are you popular? You get 80% downvotes in the poll.
I've got my friend Jack, my friend Jim, my
Do you still
friend
have the list of people that voted no on you?
Jaeger. Oh yeah, I've got keep it next to my bed, framed, just to remind myself of who I hate.
Amish's enemies.
Aye. My wee hit list, mate.
Sinead actually apologised. She was like, I didn't know you could see it. And I was like, Sinead, that doesn't make it any better, actually.
What's done is done, right?
It's fine.
Actually, I watched Dom for a good bit on Wednesday. Yeah, like I was kind of getting sick of studying for that interview, and I think Dom put in the chat like, "Are you coming on?" And I was like, "Actually, I'll come on for a bit." And I just started making fun of you because you kept dying.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can understand, like, especially when it comes to, like, interviews and stuff, that, you know, you don't want to spend your whole time just preparing for it, because that's the worst thing you can do, is that you think that you're way over-prepared, and then you can't remember what you want to say, and then you get fucked. Somebody will ask you a question, like, so how are you? And everything just goes out your head. My name's, Jason, fuck!
Oh no, that's my brother!
Uh,
So I had fun watching you, man. Like, Undertale's a super interesting game. Like, there's so many things that I don't think you would see if you just played it the one time.
Definitely not.
Like,
Yeah, I
Like,
noticed that when I was watching Dom. Like after playing through it, I was just like, "Where the fuck is this? I've never been here before. I've never seen this character before." So
Yeah, and it's like, see if you kill certain enemies, or you let certain enemies live, you know, that ending of the game itself, like the one that you had the phone call with, Hamish, I think it was maybe Sans that called you.
yeah,
Like, his dialogue will just change just depending on who survives or who runs the underground once you're gone.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, like, sometimes it's a bit dire. See, I think you basically killed everyone, didn't you? So it was
yeah.
like,
Aye, every fight I
lots of-
did. So yeah, he wasn't very happy with me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so he's
Hamish is
like,
like, it's a game. I kill people in the game.
They started it, mate. So I was defending myself. Justified.
yeah, because they go through it, it's like Sans actually has to take over or that, and he's like, yeah, well, we're just going to come and find you, it's alright. Or if Undyne survives, she's like, yeah, they're going to make a big militia to go and find you and kill you when they break the barrier, and it's like, okay.
Bring it, bitch. I beat you all before.
and then you see the super hard fucking mode that I got with like Undying, and
yeah.
but I'm so happy like I got to Sans though, because like that's been tough to do that.
There was a point where like you fucked up the first bit of Sans like 2 or 3 times in a row, and I just kept like putting in like, you know, encouraging comments like "you suck" and "loser" and stuff like that, and like
go to bed.
I was actually saying like those sort of things, they don't get better as you like you're not going to beat it at that point. You need to come back like less
Fresh.
annoyed. Yeah, less annoyed. Even Angie was telling you to go to bed.
Yeah, she was.
She's like, "Go to bed, Dom. Hydrate."
Hydrate. Go to bed. Yeah, that's right. But I
You
was
nearly
so
finished
glad-
that run then? Is that nearly finished? If you
That's
beat
it.
Sans?
See, after Sans, that's it.
That makes sense. Hard fight.
So
Yeah.
he'll only be on Undertale for another few streams.
Probably even just maybe one more. And that'll be it.
I was saying
And
that you're
then-
not going to be able to beat him, mate.
Oh, Hamish, that's cruel.
I'm giving you the
Oh.
motivation, mate. I'm, getting you fired up.
Are you going to play Deltarune?
See, I was thinking of streaming the Deltarune for it, but the game is only a chapter 1, and it's not that long.
Yeah.
And it's got really nothing to do with Undertale, because it's its own sort of. It has some, like, you know, some characters from Undertale, but they're not those characters. So like
Deltarune
Torio,
not-
and it's an anagram of.
It's an anagram of Undertale.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wait, those all have the same letters.
Dun dun dun. But it's like chapter 1 came out a couple of years ago, and it's like there's no alternative endings. There's like a secret boss that you fight, and then that's it. It's like nothing really to write home about until Toby Fox comes out with the fully released game, which he says is like maybe 2022, but I don't know. Maybe
Right.
if COVID's affected it, because like he's not really been doing anything else apart from just, you know, occasional updates to Undertale. Like that, the Xbox one that I'm currently playing is the latest Undertale version.
Right, okay.
So he does like wee things like that, wee updates. Like they had the Switch version that had like its own special character that was on it, and you can only get on the Switch. But the boss itself was just very, It was like, okay,
Yeah.
unique boss. But hopefully, after the stream on Monday, I'll be playing something else. I'm still digging out a few games to play. I'm still thinking of maybe playing Medieval.
Yeah, Medieval, the remake one.
Yeah.
Well, I bought it. Someone's got to play it, isn't they?
But I'm really tempted to just to go, do you know what, fuck it, I'll go and buy Resi and play that.
Yeah, it's also a good idea.
It
Does
looks
look
like
good.
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's only 15 hours from what I've been seeing, and I'm like, okay, that seems like it would be, fun to play. And it's like, I just want to play my PS5 again. See, because of like all this shit I've been doing with work, I've not had much chance to sit down and play games properly, and doing the streams like helped it because you're making time to do it. But I was like, man, I just want to sit and just, play a couple of games.
Yeah, I was going to
Fun.
get like a 120 hertz monitor
Uh-huh.
because like obviously we're probably going to talk about later all the updates to all these old games and then new games are going to be 120. I was like, I really want to see what the difference is.
Mhm.
I'm like 4K is great, but I can see that on my TV. I just want to see this 120 hertz. I can deal with 1440, I think.
Yeah.
And like I want to take full advantage of these new consoles.
Yeah. Definitely.
I feel like I'm not seeing it all because I've only got a 60 hertz display.
Yeah. Like, I ran Control on my monitor, which is 144 hertz. Like, not through the Elgato, just directly to it. It looks
Yeah.
fucking beautiful.
Did it?
Yeah. Actually, I was like, wow, this is like, because like when I was playing it on stream, obviously with Elgato, it takes down a bit of the frame rate for you.
Yeah.
Not by much, but it's noticeable once you put on like high performance mode of that. It's like, fucking hell, this game looks amazing.
Yeah, it's hard I don't think there's an option to stream 120 hertz yet.
Not yet.
Nah,
And if
like even
Elgato will fucking make a card for you, and then it won't work for the first fucking 3 months, and then everyone will get raging at them before they kind of patch it 8 months later.
oh man,
Fucking
like,
Elgato.
we could have a podcast just moaning about Elgato, but I don't even think the consoles themselves. You know how you get the Twitch app and like it used to be Mixer on the Xbox, but like I don't even think they allow you to do over 30.
No.
I don't even
Like-
think they allow you to do 60 because it would take way too much of the CPU to do that as well. But it's cool. I want to do it by myself. I want to see 120 hertz.
You
I
want
want
to
to see what it looks like.
Do you know what you really want to see? You want to see 120 hertz Titanfall 2, don't you?
Fucking yes, man! Like,
As soon as
I
it on
can't,
the
like-
list, when you showed that list on the chat, I was like, oh, there's Titanfall, and you're like, Titanfall, right underneath.
mate, that's another thing on my list ticked off this week. Downfall 2. I honestly like you've just suggested the campaign that I might actually play on stream.
Oh shit!
Yeah, fuck! I just remembered that.
It's a great
I've not
campaign.
played that. I've not played it in such a fucking long time. The campaign, I played the multiplayer not long ago, but the campaign I kind of beat and left, if you know what I mean, because we were all playing multiplayer. Because we weren't one of those losers that played Call of Duty at the time, were we, Tamish?
That came later. Then we were those losers.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't follow the crowd straight away. We were at the back going, okay.
There's no one playing on the Titanfall servers anymore. I guess we'll just have to.
I'm trying to like run along the walls and like do all that stuff. Just can't do it.
Just play
Yeah,
Call of
that's
Duty
all.
Advanced Warfare, mate. You can long run badly.
I forgot that one. Actually, I forgot that really bad game. Advanced Warfare wasn't that bad. It was Infinite Warfare that was bad.
Hmm.
Do you know what? I don't think any of them are that bad.
But yeah. Do you
Mate,
want
we've got the Twitch is actually popping off these days.
Yeah, it's
Like-
feels like it has been. It's been feeling like it's a bit easier to jump on and stream and just like help out. There's other like people that we've been playing with or just watching. Like
Like
Again,
Gav.
Gav's a lot of fun to watch. It's Gavin Gaming. I'll watch some people like the OSW review guys. Like they've worked their way through a bunch of like old wrestling games.
Mate,
I remember turning up at Hamish's house at 6 in the morning, and you and Dom were sitting playing fucking SmackDown versus Raw 2006, 7. And I'm going to like work, and I'm like, oh guys, I want to stay and play. And you're like, we've been up all night.
Yeah, check us move out.
some of
It's
the
like-
some of the stories in there were ridiculous, but I think the stories were better back then than they have been in years.
Yeah, they've just been going for simulations and realistic modes, and where it's like the creativity is completely lost in the games. Like, but you could make your own finishers. They were like a lot of fun where you could do like 3 moonsaults, in the mid-air and
Yeah.
rotate around and then just land a really bad elbow drop. Like, yeah, I hit that spot every fucking night. You watch me do that. Defy the laws of gravity. That's fucking sweet.
We stopped playing it once the engine got super slow. I
Yeah.
think it was around 2010, 2011. Like,
You stopped
we
playing
were
it when
like,
Christian left, mate. Admit it.
yeah, yes, I did, yes. But like, I kind of got out of wrestling by that point. But like, the games were fun if they were
Yeah.
like quicker. But yeah, we
All-Star-
should definitely stream wrestling games, do like a Royal Rumble.
Yeah, the All Star I think was the last fun game that I played. The WWE's All Stars were all cartoony sort of ones, and they all like huge guys. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was like more that you're playing with action figures. But yeah, they definitely need to be working something like that. But then they did say 2022 is going to be a lot better because they spent a lot of time on it.
Yeah, it's a new
Because-
company, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like they fucking went defunct in the last one, and it was done so bad that it damaged the reputation of the company, and it was like, ugh. But we don't
Yeah.
want to talk about that.
I don't think the Switch version works to this day.
No.
I think it works at like 10 frames per second. Alright, guys, we all actually finished Invincible this week. Hamish, fucking took his time, like he always does, but he done it.
Hamish,
Yeah. What did you
what
think?
did you? Yeah, so like, it was just basically my recommendation for me just saying because I was watching week to week, and was sort of keeping you guys a little bit in the loop for it.
Yeah.
Once it finished up, I noticed a lot of people talking about it, like maybe a couple of days after the finale came out. I'm hoping you didn't get spoiled on it because, like, it's not like a crazy, oh my god, crazy twist, but like the way it happened, the way it was built up, I felt like they fucking knocked out of the park. And yeah, like, did you think like thank fuck that you jumped on it like when you did instead of getting spoiled by it? Because like the memes that are going about, with Omni Man, you're like,
Yeah. Think, Mark. Think. I mean, yeah, I'm glad I watched it. Not only just because I hate getting spoiled, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. But honestly, I just didn't think that they handled it perfectly. I think they gave it away way too early at the end of the first episode when you see Omni Man like going mental. It's just they should have kept that. I know it wouldn't have obviously worked the same way, but it just seemed like it wasn't a big reveal at the end. Like, fair enough, you got to learn his reasoning and stuff like that, which was fine, but
yeah,
I feel like they lost a bit of the impact that they could have had.
I think the point was you were the only one that knew, so you were like, "Oh, I hope they find out." I think that's the point. You were
Yeah.
meant to be like there was a bit of tension, like shit, what's going to happen? Why? Like, because you don't know why he does it until the end. So
Mhm.
you're like, so is he bad? Is he good? Like,
were they like evil people that were like corrupted by like a company and like he was just trying to clear out the people that were doing that, and then yeah, it was like you knew that there was a reason for it, but for the reason to be basically
I don't know. I just thought like it would have been better if we were along with the journey of like Omni Man's wife, for example, where he's getting a wee bit short and a wee bit curt about Invincible, about his son and stuff like that, and she's starting to think what is going on here. You know what I mean? Like why is he acting differently? But then again, I suppose a lot of that was based on the investigation to the murder, so you couldn't have had that without it. But
yeah,
I suppose it
like because it was both Warner.
yeah. I mean, like I said, it was fine. It was good, and I did thoroughly enjoy it. I just think they just did that a wee bit too early. It would have been better to get a bit of a following for Omni Man first. Get in his corner and just be like, oh yeah, this is a good guy. Like fair enough. It's such a common trope now. I think we were talking about it last time. Like, oh, the whole Superman that turns bad thing. So people probably would have seen it coming a mile away anyway. But I don't know. It's not the way I would have done it. Put it that way.
Yeah,
all right, Hamish, downer.
What? I'm saying
Bringing
it's
us
good.
down.
Not,
Do you know what the
Actually, no.
problem is, Hugh?
It's
Do you know what
usually
the
me.
problem is? Do you know what the problem is? It's because it's not Homelander.
It's because it's not Homelander.
well, Homelander is a much better developed character and stuff like that, but
Well, we know Homelander's a big mummy's boy.
yeah.
I just said things to try and like
No, he is. I
trigger
mean,
the
if you've seen The Boys, you'll know he is, yeah.
Yeah.
a big
Um,
loser.
Did you like Justin Rollins' cameo in it?
I thought the whole the whole cast was amazing. Like every kind of bit of it, like the whole cast. Seth Rogen, I thought was dead funny as well.
Yeah.
Alan the alien guy.
Al the Alien, yeah.
He was
Alan
funny.
Alien.
Because like he's an executive producer on it. He was like he's been doing a lot of the ones. Like I'm sure he was like helping out with the boys as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he's in one of the commercials or something like that. Like they're talking about one of the movies. You know, like they have kind of basically an MCU for the boys.
Yeah.
He was in one of them, so yeah, he must be a big superhero fan, and he's or comic book fan, and he's doing all these things. But
Yeah, he was in the Green Hornet.
yeah, true. That legendary film.
I hated
Not
that
so
film.
bad. I thought it was alright. It wasn't that bad. You also said about John Hamm being in it as well, Hamish. You just sort of called that when like episode. I think you watched 2 episodes before we're talking about it.
That was the first episode I'd watched at that point because
First
he was
episode,
right at the start. But yeah, he's quite a good voice actor. But we were talking about this before the podcast. The voice acting talent was just incredible by everybody.
That's where the budget went. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
a lot, like it was a nice looking show in a lot of places. Like, but sometimes you were like, "Wait, is that moving, or is that just like some guy's just dragging a picture frame along?" Like, there was a lot of dips in the animation quality, but I think that was mostly to do with the fact that time and money.
They'll probably get a
Obviously.
bit more money for the next seasons as well. I think because it has done really well now. Like it's been pretty popular
Because it was trending.
because it was trending everywhere, baby. Did you have a favourite episode? Did you have a favourite moment? Was there anything that jumped out at you?
even
did
though
you
I-
like how-
sorry.
Did you like the fact that like Invincible seemed just to get his ass kicked every single time? He didn't do anything most of the time.
Yeah, he seemed thoroughly invincible. He was getting done in constantly, but I mean that he's just new to it, so that kind of added up. You
Yeah.
know, that made sense. I liked the story with like the character Titan. You know, the guy that can put the stone over his skin, and he kind of tricked Invincible into thinking that he was needing help to get away from the what was it, robot head guy?
Machine Head.
Yeah, machine head. Yeah, robot heads, mate.
That punk guy.
Yeah, I like that kind of twist, and obviously they're gonna bring that back because they wouldn't go and get Mahershala Ali to do the voice of that and then not touch it again. That was nicely
Battle
kind of.
Cat was wild. Like I was honestly like, oh, Omni Man or someone's going to swoop in here at the last minute and fuck this guy up, and then the guy was just like, "This is boring. I'm out of here."
Yeah,
Like none of you guys are even worth fighting.
yeah.
Fuck you. I'm going.
Get on my
And I
level.
Aye. And like the wee girl that turns into the
Monster Girl.
Girl.
Or-
Yeah.
monster girl, yeah. Like and she gets like her face all ripped off and stuff like that, and
yeah,
you're like, what the wait. You know from the first episode, it's not a normal show that like people can die. Then you're like, wait, they've literally just brought these people in. Is everyone gonna die again? Like,
Yeah.
is that the point?
yeah. I did like that, but also I'd probably say the final episode, even though I was kind of saying it's not how I would have done it. I did really like the final episode. It felt very climactic, the whole thing, you know, which is quite difficult to do for like a 45-minute long episode to keep the intensity up and that. But yeah, I'd probably say final episode was the best part of it.
See when he called his wife like a pet,
Oh,
you're a bit like, oh shit, this isn't. He isn't actually just going to go, oh, I love you. I'll go against my people or whatever. He literally does not care.
I mean,
Like,
if he,
one of the lines that he said was like, "This is like a speck of my time being here."
yeah,
Yeah.
if you lived for like over 1,000 years, I don't know how long did he say they lived for? A long time anyway.
it was thousands of years.
You can kind of see where he's coming from. Like, it would be hard to get properly attached to something that you knew was just gonna die. Similar to a pet. Like, so I can see his logic there, but
You would.
what?
Hamish is like, someone's terrible take. I can see that where that terrible take comes from. I'm
It's not a
behind that
terrible
one.
take. Like, and
What
also
did you
like,
What did you think of the Chicago scene?
The-
remind me.
The city destruction, where he just like basically threw Invincible through all the buildings and basically destroyed most of Chicago, jumped out to the trains and held them in front.
Oh yeah, yeah. Aye, then going through the whole train, that was pretty cool, man.
It's wild, man.
Yeah,
Like it's just the fact that there was nothing he could do. You could see him try, and they're like, "Fucking hell!" It was just
Yeah, he
Yeah.
says at one point, "I'll stop you," and he's like, "I'm waiting. Like, I'm ready when you are. Like, when are you going to fight back?" Sort of thing. Like,
I did like how they didn't go with the whole like Invincible just suddenly powers up, and obviously like the comic run's finished, so that that's there's more
Well, then-
to it, so they wouldn't have ended it that way anyway, because Omni-Man does come back, but
Yeah.
there's no Dragon Ball ending here. Like, he doesn't pull a special form out his ass and whips him.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, is as much reality as you can get. Like,
yeah.
It's like he is stronger than you, so you're not going to beat him, basically.
yeah.
Yeah,
This guy's got experience. He's got a 1,000-year experience on your couple of months, maybe.
Yeah.
My boy Immortal just gets fucking wrecked every time, though.
a couple times.
Like- see when he comes back, I was kind of like, oh, what's he going to do? Maybe like he's obviously the strongest human, so maybe he's going to do it. No, he's ripped in half again. Oh,
That was
He's
funny.
so-
When
He's basically like Vegeta, mate.
yes, pretty much as what like 'cause he's going to come back, isn't he?
Aye.
Like because he's immortal, so
yeah,
they're
Roll
going
them back together, sew them back together, wrong back together.
I liked it
Yeah.
when they brought him back though with the wee collar, and they were like trying to control him, and then he would just like rip, just took it right off. I was like,
Oh, man. I did like the sort of like side stories that they did have as well. With like the two clones. Oh, not the two clones. The
and
one-
robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the robot story was pretty good,
That
too.
was a nice sort of
Mate.
like story as well.
I think everybody has their own favorite scene, but like this one's really popular as well. See when he, like Omni Man takes those aliens back to their own dimension, and it's like stylized, and he's like, "Earth is not yours to conquer,"
Yeah.
and like he fucking blows this planet up, and
Mhm.
I don't know what song's playing in the background. It's Cage the Elephant or something,
Yeah.
and like it all goes red, and it reminds me a lot of the animation from Batman of the Future. Like a lot of that stuff, like, and he just blows up this planet, blows up like the scientists and stuff like that, and then goes home and he's just like, "Oh, I need a shower." Like,
yeah. Even his wife was like, "Oh, that's just a Tuesday for him." It was quite cool. But I thought that's also good as well. It was a great line. It's not yours to conquer. And at the time, without knowing his motivations, you're thinking like, "Oh, he's defending Earth," But it's like, no, it's because it's his to conquer.
yes,
Oh.
that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
cool.
So what did you think of like Mark and Amber's relationship? Like that was a lot of people are very split on it because they're like, well, obviously if she knew that he was like invincible, then why is she pure breaking his balls? And then it's like other times it's like, well, because he's not. There's a whole sort of like people don't like her, or
I mean, I can see where they're coming from. Like, if she knew, then she should understand. If she knew and she decided to go out with a superhero, then surely you understand that means they're gonna need to go away at a moment's notice. Sometimes, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And
I think it's the Skylar White thing in it, like from Breaking Bad, where everyone's like, "Oh, she's a bitch," and you're like, "Well, she had to put up with her husband, like, fucking becoming the biggest drug dealer in the country."
Mhm.
Like reactions like that are like natural.
they're normal.
because you see like Walter White as the protagonist, you're like, oh, let him do his thing, whatever he wants. But yeah, if you actually really put your mindset into theirs, then you'd be like, aye, absolutely, of course she'd be pissed off. So yeah, at the same time, like, even though I'm like, she knew what she was getting into, at the same time, it would be annoying if you were constantly making plans and Bay was, just leaving you. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I hoped that Invincible and Adam Eve, I thought they were a better fit. Just
I think that's the future in it. Like
Yeah.
probably I haven't read. I've read a little bit of the comics so far, but I was going to get into them tonight actually after the podcast, and spoil myself for the next couple of seasons.
But would you recommend this to anyone that hasn't seen it?
Yes, I have been for the last week.
Yeah,
just telling people.
I've said to a few people, like, just you need to make sure and give them a gore warning. But
Oh yeah, definitely. Like that first episode, I think it was like a lot of people were very surprised by it. They were thinking, oh, it's just going to be one of these cartoon ones with like J.K. Simmons, who's like, oh look, it looks like he's like wanting pictures of Spider-Man. Then wait a minute, why is he dismembering this like dismembering all these members of this wannabe Justice League?
yeah,
Why is it so gory? Holy shit!
but I mean that just shows you, like, just if he wants pictures of Spider-Man, get him pictures of Spider-Man, or you're gonna get fucked up.
Yeah, you're gonna taste blood.
You're gonna get your head crushed, and your eyes are gonna pop.
How good was the scene with him just punching his chest, and it just like his hands were broken, and it was just oh man,
It was
just standing
wild,
there.
man. Because like they introduced those characters like they were going to be there for a while. They were like, oh, these characters have backstory. They have interesting things going on in their life. Look at that. There's like this alien has like a friend, like a little boy friend or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we'll get to know them eventually. Oh no, it's just,
No, we won't. You know who I was feeling for though was, remember what was the Batman guy called again?
Darkwing.
Darkwing, I think it was, yeah.
So
Like
he
the duck style.
he went and like magnetically held those two robber guys up to that big cylinder, and he never went back to save them. So like they're still hanging there.
To this day.
Remember he put the wee
skeletons.
things on their wrists and
Yeah.
like sucked onto the so
He got an awful death as well. Omni-Man just slammed his head onto the ground as hard as he could.
By his leg.
Like
Yeah,
I was
threw
like,
him at the King Glassy. Just like
and she's like, oh fuck, and he just like stabs through her head with his palm of his hand, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, crazy, mate. It's crazy. Loved it. Want to see the next few seasons. I'm actually I think the next show I'm super excited for is The Witcher season 2. But hopefully we get that pretty soon. Is there a date? Any of you know?
No, I'm not sure. The next thing I was looking at was Loki, because that's been pulled a wee bit forward. Instead of Fridays, it's going to be Wednesdays. I don't think it's the actual date is pulled much forward, but
I
that's
think it's by a few days, that's all.
yeah,
And
it's
like,
June though, so that's
Yeah.
not too far away.
Do you know what? I haven't really got into any of these shows yet. Sorry, like, I haven't
Yeah.
got into any of these Marvel shows. I don't know what it is.
I would
Don't
say,
apologise to me, mate. I never made them.
like,
But like, I just think it's maybe because I know what I kind of can predict where they're going. If you know what I mean.
I would
and
say
kinda-
I think you probably would like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think you would dig that.
Is it
Again,
political?
I think it's of
Is it political?
course it's political, mate.
Good. I like politics.
Turn around and like we can't have a black man being a cat. We can't have this all happening. He has to give up that shield, and we'll give it to this guy that looks really weird looking.
What is that guy? What's the actor's name?
Sean something? I can't remember.
No,
his name.
he was. I've seen him in something. He's got a very distinctive face.
Hey, give me a sec. I'll grab it, man.
I don't remember
just-
seeing him in
It was.
Oh, he's in 22 Jump Street.
He's Wyatt Russell.
He's the guy in college with Channing Tatum, and they're like best buds. Like that's where I know him
it.
from.
Oh yeah.
He's fucking awesome in that as well. So he plays U.S. agent, doesn't he?
John
And,
Walker. Is it?
Yeah. And they want him to become the next Captain America, didn't they? Aye.
Yeah.
Got you.
Basically, the Falcon gives the shield up because he's like, nah, I don't actually deserve this. I'm not Captain America, and no one can be Captain America. And then, like the next day, they come out like, oh, by the way, here's a new Captain America.
Everyone's
like, "What?"
the fuck?" Yeah.
What, motherfucker?
They have a whole thing. It's like yeah, you've been blipped away for 5 years, so you got no credit and stuff. And it's like, how the fuck are they going to try to afford all this stuff? And it's like again, I think it is one of those ones that is a bit like One Division. It takes a wee while to get into, but I was a bit gutted that I got spoiled with the last 2 episodes, but I still enjoyed it. The fight scenes were fucking great, well shot.
Were they, yeah?
Oh yeah, they were really well done.
You know what's really
But
sad
again,
though?
looking
Sorry,
forward.
sorry to interrupt you, man. You know what's really sad? Talking about Marvel stuff. Doctor Strange and Black Widow were meant to be out today, and they're not.
Right,
Is
actually,
Black
you're
Widow not coming out soon?
cinemas are opening in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, so they will be out soon.
Yeah.
But see, because you've said that, Hamish, did
Yeah,
you see the trailers that they released Marvel
for
for all the cinema
the
dates?
Eternals and stuff. I saw like the teaser stuff. I saw that there's a Fantastic Four film coming.
No, is it? Is it though?
Well,
It says
everyone's raging
4.
that there's no date for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna come. Like I think people forget that Fantastic Four was like what number 2 behind X Men.
Yeah. Fantastic
For-
Four like has such great like villains and characters. Like I mean, Doctor Doom, man, why the fuck's he not been a villain at LU? Alright, because Fox has it. You're like, God damn it. I mean,
He's a
hey.
great villain.
few times that they've had him on screen, he's been fucking garbage. And he's like, I'm a pretty man under this, and he's like, he's ah.
Yeah, it's fucking. He's not meant to be that at all, is he?
No,
Like, it's just they've never had a good out in the Fantastic Four, have they?
no, like is it Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings or Legends of the Ten?
Yeah, Legend of Ten Rings.
That looks fun. I'm really looking forward to that.
We might be seeing the fucking the outcome of that wee short about the Mandarin.
the
I was going to
actual
say
Mandarin.
the Mandalorian. The Mandarin.
Was the way
Do you know how is it Iron Man 3 where at the end there's like they're talking to Ben Kingsley's character and they're like, oh, you've been impersonating the Master or whatever, and then they kind of take him away. There's actually a Mandarin out there.
I don't think
Like-
that was at the end of Iron Man 3. I think that was after. When they realised all the shitstorm that was like, what do you mean he's not the actual fucking Mandarin? What do you mean you've
Yeah.
fucked this character up? I think it was a couple of movies after it that they put it in, or they released it separately or something like that. But yeah, they
But
basically
you're
tried
right,
to.
yeah, because they need to sort of like, another good villain would be there.
One of Iron Man's biggest villains, you know what I mean? So they kind of just fuck him up like that. Like, as much as they wanted that twist, but
But I mean, like they can't really do much now with Tony not existing. They
Yeah.
can still use it.
yeah.
People keep
but yeah,
asking
like,
him to come back, but he's not going to.
nah.
He's
Like,
not
the
coming
trailer-
back.
The trailer that they released for it though was nice because you heard Stan Lee's voice narrating over the top of it. It's nice to hear that.
Yeah.
All your voice. And then they were saying about the Black Panther Wakanda Forever getting because that had been rumored for a while because they did say that we're trying to make a 2. And they're like, we're not sure, but they are going ahead with it.
Yeah, I remember the big discussion, like, should we recast Chadwick Boseman or, just basically make it without him? And, that's obviously the way that they're going, but they were also saying that they're going to, it's not like they're just going to gloss over it like, oh, he's away on a mission or anything like that. I think they are going to properly kind of deal with it in the film, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. But
Yeah, it's like the easiest thing they could have done was just replace him with someone else, like Michael B. Jordan. Just bring him back and like you're now Black Panther.
they could just have Black Panther and never take his mask off, like just yes, it's
Like Judge
Chadwick under there.
Yeah, they could do that, but like it's kind of nice that they won't. Everybody's still got it fresh in their mind, like what happened and stuff like that. And he was quite a big, it's quite a big success for them. Like, and his face was everywhere, so I don't think they want to replace it.
No, absolutely, quite right, making the right
As
decision.
cynical as that sounds.
No, I think it's totally right.
But I mean, it's nice to have all those release dates there as well. I love the font that they've got for Love and Thunder.
Yeah, that's the one I'm kind of thinking is the most interesting, along with Guardians Volume 3. But
The one like is it the Marvels? They've called it for Captain Marvel 2.
Oh no, the Marvels, yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very. I was like, okay. I thought it would have been Captain Marvel, the new Avengers or something like that. I thought they would go with, but the Marvels. I was like, oh, okay.
Mm.
Ant-Man and the Wasp getting a movie again as well. So I'm like, yeah.
yeah, I didn't think they were going to do another Ant-Man and the Wasp, mostly because I don't think the other ones were huge successes and they had other things they wanted to do. But like, it's nice because I think they deserve like an ending to their story.
I liked them. I really liked the Ant-Man movies.
They were good. I don't like Hugh says. I don't think they did as well as some of the others, but they're still Marvel movies, so they still made bank. They did plenty well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You see that Taika Waititi was saying like, oh yeah, Thor, that like because he's obviously making the next Thor again. He was like, oh, I promise you, it's
Oh,
the best Marvel film, and it's like, of course you would say that. You fucking made it. Like, can't take your word for that.
Yeah, Taika, like that's like it's advertising your own shit, like and reviewing it. Yeah, I've actually said this one's the best. Like, well, obviously,
No
it
shit.
probably will be. It probably will be, to be honest.
I mean,
It'll be between
I felt
that and
that.
Guardians.
Yeah, I felt that way with Ragnarok. You know, I thought that's one of the best. Maybe not the best, but it's definitely up there. So if Love and Thunder follows suit, then it should be, you know, hopefully as good anyway.
They'll probably have some of the Guardians in it as well, because like obviously Thor left with them at the end of Endgame, so
Yeah,
this is my friend Tree.
you know, as Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, see, I think it would be a lot of fun. Yeah, Guardians 3 for me, and then they're doing a Guardians Christmas special as well.
Yeah, I seen that. That looks awesome. Like it's so out of left field. I didn't think they were going to do any kind of specials, but it'll probably a Disney Plus thing, won't it?
It'll be a Disney Plus one.
And
But yeah,
did you see that Alfred Molina's been seen for Spider-Man No Way Home? Back
Yes,
as Doc
yeah.
Ock. They're using like the de-aging thing, so that he looks like, because apparently his story's just picking up where it ended in Spider-Man 2, the Tobey Maguire one. Just picking up from there.
oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually. Like, I've seen Andrew Garfield says, "No, I've not been asked to come back." And you're like, "We can't trust you, Andrew."
He would.
Like-
He's obviously been told to say that, or well, if he has been asked, he would be told to say that, and he's not. You know, Mark Ruffalo. He's not going to leak everything, or Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Yeah,
They're the worst for it, but
Did you see that they've been releasing some of the special features from Endgame with Hulk becoming Smart Hulk? Like clips of like what they were going to use in Infinity War.
all right, okay, no, I've not seen that.
So you figure out like remember he says it was 18 months I had to figure out how to get me and Hulk to sort of work together, and they decided not to show it because they're like, oh, we didn't want to have a happy moment after Thanos basically wipes out half of the galaxy. They're like, only way it would have made no sense. I was like, so I've seen some of the clips they used for it. I'm like, oh, right, okay, it's interesting. Mark Ruffalo basically doing like a Golem with himself, like talking to himself, but it's like
All right, okay.
Hulk and him just like side. I'm like, that's such a good idea. And they did say if they ever were going to do like another Hulk movie or he was going to be in it, they'd probably go back in time and show how he did that, or maybe with She-Hulk. That's
Yeah.
a TV series that's coming soon. They might do that. I'm like, okay, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, it could be interesting. Yeah.
the latest Xbox feature that's came out. Hamish, you should be all over this, seeing as you're a mad fanboy. It's the
I do have an
FPS
Xbox.
boost.
Yes.
Mate, I saw you going to say something there, and then you kind of went, no, I'll wait.
I was just gonna say, like, I genuinely don't worry too much about FPS, like honestly, like frames per second or hertzes, or megahertz or mini hertz, whatever they call them. It's.
I think it makes a difference in some games. Though. It can modernize an older looking game, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it runs smoother.
Yeah.
As long as the game's infrastructure works on it, then yeah, it can even help with if it was like say like Thief and they upscaled that, so you could actually see dark corners that you were hiding in, rather than just running into a brick wall because your monitors was too dark and you're like, where am I going?
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I mean, it would only really be helpful to me if it was a game I hadn't played. Put it this way, I wouldn't go back and play a game that I'd already played just to see an upgrade.
Aye. But boys, the biggest news on this list is Anthem is now 60 hertz.
No, I think you'll find the biggest news is Lego Batman's 120.
Like Hamish, we can both talk about how enormous this news is for both these amazing games.
Are you going to go and play Anthem then?
Fuck, I hate that game. It was so bad, man. Like, we were looking at that game as like the next like multiplayer game we could all play, and I think I played like the beta, and I was like, this is awful.
I think we all played the beta and I really didn't like it. Like,
Yeah, it left a lot to be desired.
and it took forever to log into it. I can always remember that, but I've always like, oh, maybe it's because everyone's so busy. And then when I went into work the next day, did you guys play Anthem? There a bunch of the boys that worked there, and they're like, nah, man, not for me.
It's terrible.
No. And you're like, oh no, dead game.
Yeah, it's absolutely dead now. EA aren't even going to do anything with it. But it's just cool that like
I do like the
Xbox-
fact that yeah, they're just like, I think that is a good it's a good thing to do. Even like, even if the game is not not as popular, they are at least going through the back catalogue and upscaling and doing that, like for the newer tellies and for people just to keep them alive.
yeah, they
as
don't
well.
need to. That is the thing. They could do a Sony and ignore the fact they've got 27 years of history in the games business. Like Sony's like PlayStation 1. Why the fuck would you want to play that? Like,
Yeah.
because I
Why?
liked it. Sony, stop shouting at me.
Sorry, just take my money, please. Stop yelling. But yeah,
just take my money, eh?
but then
No,
yeah.
sorry, Dom. Continue. I was just going to rant on again.
Yeah, but
Uh,
they're just too busy, like wanting to shut down shops and that and stop people from buying games. But they kind of retracted all of that because of the outlash. I mean, it feels like a lot of companies have been doing that they're trying to push boundaries to what they can do to customers' patience or what.
Yeah.
And then they retract. So, we'll try it harder. We won't try as hard next time. We'll just try to do something that we've been planning for before. You know what they did like with microtransactions.
Yeah, true.
But
Boys, we can play Overcooked 2 in 120 hertz.
fuck yeah.
Because that's what the problem was, that when we played that before, that's why we weren't able to wash dishes in time and stuff like that. It was the
Oh my god! Remember that was one of the first
The
games that
frame
we
rate.
streamed.
yeah.
Fucking hell, remember?
Remember Hamish just throwing stuff at us?
you, need to
That's a
be,
trial.
you need to be quick, mate.
Remember he
Called
just like,
overcooked, not
got-
undercooked, bitches.
He was like, he got the fire extinguisher and he was just spinning in circles and circles and circles.
There's fire everywhere, mate.
The games on this, I'm looking to play are the Tomb Raider games. By the way, I want to see them. I want to see them in 60. But
They'll look
you's interested in this? You hate it? You don't give a fuck?
No, I mean it's definitely a good sign. Like I say, but it's not make or break for me. But it's
And
kinda wish-
Titanfall 2's now 120 hertz.
you would have
kinda
played
wish-
that anyway, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but now I played it at 120 frames per second.
I kind of wish that maybe Sony would follow suit with this as well. Any of the PlayStation 4 games and try to upscale a lot more that's on the back catalogue rather than just you can play them. I mean, they did that with like Ratchet and Clank. They've done that with Horizon Zero Dawn. But to give more of like an option, so if you are a user, like Ghost of Tsushima as well, sorry. I seen you just looking at me there like, why is he not mentioning that game? Like, when you got something that's got like the bigger upscales for it, and it's nice to the Xbox to do that free of charge, because the amount of people that would probably pay to do that would be a crazy amount. But I think that, again, we've talked about this before, how the Ultimate Game Pass is like the best thing that's going, and if they're getting subscribers like all the time, even if it's week to week, not even like year to year, then they're just laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, it's awesome, and
Yeah.
I will be playing these old games. Old games are not just to be laughed at; they are to be played. Hamish,
I wasn't laughing at them. I was laughing at you.
Oh,
well, don't do that either. Right, the next news I'm very excited for because I love Lord of the Rings. Merry and Pippin, Dominic Monaghan and Billy Boyd are teaming up to do a podcast on the films. It's stories, interviews with the cast and crew, the trivia and stuff like that. The same stuff I handle like Scrubs and Sopranos and stuff like that. They've got their own podcasts.
Why are you excited
That's-
for more competition for us here?
like, mate, like Lord of the Rings just doesn't get talked about enough anymore, and how fucking awesome it was.
It was pretty
Like-
awesome, but that's
Yeah.
going to be a long ass podcast, man. Because there's some long films. There's a lot of detail in them.
I know. It's called the Friendship Onion.
The Friendship Onion.
oh, 'cause
Yeah,
there's
and it,
layers to it.
yeah, yes.
Why don't they
I
call it a
think.
Friendship Ogre?
Because it's not Shrek. It's coming out May 18th on Spotify, by the way. We advert for them, boost them up a bit. They probably need it.
Yeah, as long as
Um,
they do the same for us, then that's fine. That's even.
Like, man, the picture, that makes them look so old in the picture now, and I'm like, God, when was Lord of the Rings out? Oh, 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Oh, Jesus.
you've got it. Like, I mean, I don't mean to bring down the tone of it, but like Lord of the Rings was like out before 9/11 and stuff. All of these big disasters.
Why Dom?
That's your landmark.
Why did you go straight?
Yeah.
Why did you go straight to 9/11? Is
Do
that
you know
how
why?
date
Do
things?
you know why? Because I can remember people going, "Oh, you can't call it the Two Towers now."
Oh yeah, okay, Twin Towers.
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "That's fucking ridiculous. You can't just change a book's name because of like what happened in fucking America." That's all.
Aye, the book was out in like 1960s, 50s or something like that.
It's fucking ancient. But I can remember. Can you remember going to the cinemas to watch these?
Yeah, I went
I mean,
with
I
my
mean,
brother
I
and
mean,
sister.
like, I can't remember like going to the cinema in the last year or so, but
I went
but, yeah.
with Lisa and Jason, my brother and sister, and my sister fell asleep during the first one. Like for like 2 hours of this 2.5 hour film, she was asleep. And like I'm like sitting there going, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life." Like I was a big reader when I was younger, and I was massive into these stories, and like it was amazing for me, but for everyone around me, they fucking hated it because it was so long. My dad actually watched do you know in Fellowship of the Ring where they go to Rivendell?
Mm-hmm.
He watched to that part and went, "Oh, that's the end of it, right?" And I was like, "No, that's like halfway
Not quite.
through."
Yeah.
Yeah, you still got to go through Moria. You still got to, go through Lothlorien. Like, are those places? Like, I'm like, yes. Like,
are they places in Scotland?
like, you've got so much to do. And he's like, "Yeah, I've gave up. I'm not watching these."
Yeah.
All right, okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I like more Lord of the Rings content, please.
So you're going to listen to
Thank
this, but you don't even listen to our own podcast?
Damn right.
I mean, it's nice to you're getting more like behind the scenes talk about it as well. I mean, as you said, 20 years ago, like, and there's probably still getting roles or told like interviews like, oh, what was like filming Lord of the Rings? Because I mean, I've been watching this retrospective on like The Hobbit, and they talked about how different like both sort of trilogies were made. They were saying there was like over a year and a half of like pre-production, post-production, and filming went into the first movie,
Yeah.
and that's why they took so long for them to come out. But when they came out, they were like fucking
Were-
masterpieces. What was it? Over 1,000 awards and
They were
Olivia
monumental, you know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
probably, the first of its that kind,
Yeah.
with
'Cause again,
that
we'd
much
never
in it.
pick it. Yeah, because it's like I can remember with anyone that I knew that read Lord of the Rings, like when I was a lot younger, it was all very like beardy kind of people that would be just on the internet, and that was it. It was like, oh man, did you? Well, I think everyone read The Hobbit, like either in school or read it off, like when Lord of the Rings was big. But yeah, it's just one of those movies. It's just like gorgeous to look at because of all New Zealand that you see, and you're just like, this is unreal, and it made like Middle Earth like a place that you're like, fuck man, I would love to go there and have a good time with the elves and the dwarfs and Gandalf, rocking up with them, having a good time, and then having them going, fly you fools, and then have Bilbo go in slow motion,
Fly, you fools.
Frodo go in slow motion, going, yeah.
Best
What
film,
a fucking
man.
scene!
Best film.
What a fucking scene! Love that scene. Sorry.
Incredible films in here. So I'm assuming that's just going to be a wee limited run podcast, obviously, if it's just about the 3 films, is it?
Well, I don't think they're just like going, all right, this podcast about Fellowship. I think they're just going to tell stories. Like, I don't know how structured it'll probably be. It doesn't give any details. But I definitely will ignore, us to listen to that. Like, I'll be unfollowing us.
To follow them.
I don't think you
follow
do
them.
follow us, mate.
I do. There's a hide button as well. More listening, please. Hamish, you're going to love this news. Yakuza is now going to stay turn-based.
Are you waiting for my input? Because I have 0.
Like Yakuza 0. The 2 producers at the Ryu Ga Gotoko's studios, is that how you say it? Negotiate and Hozokawa. Look at Hamish laughing at this.
I was laughing at your like Yakuza 0 cheesy joke.
They said that, we're going to talk about Judgment and its
Are
sequel
we?
that's just been announced called Lost Judgment. they're going to continue the style of the old Yakuza, where you punch and kick and brawl, and Yakuza going forward is going to be turn-based RPG.
Yeah,
Are you
but I think
excited, Hamish?
Yeah, sure.
it sounds fucking
I
quite
can't
good.
even get excited enough to like motivate myself to make a joke about it. I'm just like, okay, let's just get this over with.
Let's go with a guy with better takes. Dom, what do you think?
So it was kind of like a long time coming for the Yakuza series to switch up a wee bit. Like, fair
7
enough,
games.
yeah, 7 games with Kiryu, and you're like, it's again, it didn't feel boring, but you could tell at the same time, you're like, there's only so much you can do with just one guy. You can only go back to the past so many times, back to that well where you're dealing with a guy who's, very straight faced, and it's nice to. I mean, it's a bit like you'd have with JoJo, Bizarre Adventure. You
Yeah.
need to have that humor. You need to have that input
Yeah.
and wackiness.
Kiryu is your Jotaro, if you're a JoJo fan, who's big muscle head, just everyone's favourite. Just punches things, and then like there's Joseph and Josuke who are like funny, less tough. That's what Ichiban is. Hamish has no idea what we're talking about.
Thought Ichiban was a restaurant.
In
As it
Glasgow,
means,
yeah,
it means number one.
Okay,
it means number one.
I agree with everything you guys have said. I didn't have you muted in it.
But yeah, the trailer for Lost Judgment came out, and as someone who beat the original one, I know Hamish, I made a mistake there, but like the trailer looked really, really good.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. It's going to be one of those games. It's like you hope it's going to continue going, as you said, parallel to the Yakuza series, and maybe you'll have like a Judgment Yakuza crossover. Maybe.
Yeah, you will. Dom, I think the phrase "a lot of fun" is becoming the new genuinely okay.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, because I noticed I've said it quite a lot as well in this podcast, and like I've been trying to get away from saying it's a lot of fun,
Sometimes a
And
game's
it-
a lot of fun, mate.
and sometimes it's genuinely okay. Like, but I want to play. I want to play the new Judgment. I want to play the new Yakuza. Hamish will play it with me, and we'll have a great time.
Yeah.
I mean, beat him, and then I'll watch you on Twitch. All right.
And then technically
you
that
will
means that
not.
Hamish. Then it technically means that Hamish has completed another game once you watch someone stream. I mean, that's like the rules of streaming, isn't it?
Yeah, you said if you see credits, so when I watch your credits, I'll have completed another game.
Hamish, you may as well just take a nap, mate, because we're just about to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Fuck's
Yeah.
sake, man. This is why I hate when you're the host. Apart from the fact that we ramble on for way too long, it's always weeb stuff, man.
Weebauer.
Oh, sorry. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I
No.
didn't look at anything because I wasn't hosting this week. So
Oh. I'm
Right,
sorry, that was
so-
a ghost. Hamish, sorry, I'm sorry. Just kidding.
Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrated is only exclusive to the PS5 for 6 months.
right, cool. Moving on.
So we are going to see this shit on the Xbox Series X, and I'm going to have to complete it again and again and again.
What I don't understand is like 6 months is like, does that mean like the definitive edition is coming to Xbox? And if it is coming to Xbox, is it going to be on Game Pass?
Yeah, probably, man. That is it. Let Hamish buy it now, mate, because
It's coming to Game Pass.
yeah, it's coming to Game Pass. Mate, I can't wait for this. I'm not going to be able to wait for it to come to Series X. I'm going to buy it on the PS5 and then probably buy it again on the the Xbox Series X. But
Well, I mean, like you're going to get the free upgrade to it. It's just like the Yuffie's DLC that you just need to pay for, isn't it?
it's people like me that they're aiming for, if you know what I mean, with these timed exclusives. People who can't wait, who have to be able to play it day one.
You are quite impatient when it comes to that, aren't you?
Oh, so impatient, man.
Like when it
I-
comes to me, like when we were talking about it the last time, when it was like day one, they always seem to punish people that pre-order and do day one offers or day one purchases. It's, maybe that's what they are. It's like we're going to make as much money this way if we just, release it this way. But
Square
like,
Enix way in it.
yeah, and if Microsoft are willing to, if it may be the best bet for Microsoft because they did give it away for free on PSN, Final Fantasy 7 for free on PSN as well. So maybe they will just be like straight on the Game Pass with the new DLC.
Well, that's the thing. It says in this article as well that I was reading that Final Fantasy 16 and Forspoken are timed exclusives as well. So obviously, I'm going to buy Final Fantasy 16. But will I wait a year? Probably not. To play it on the slightly more powerful console? Probably not.
Mhm.
Like that's what they aim for. They're like, let's get these impatient bastards first.
Yeah, let's get the ones that are just like they've got more money than sense, like so they can just play their weeb games.
And I've got a
And
lot
then
of sense.
talk about it on a podcast that Hamish loves to listen to.
Right, guys, it's time for Instagram questions. I think I start every single part of this podcast with right, guys.
Pure loud as well. Right, guys.
I know, I know. Try to bring the energy up, man, because I'm getting tired. Our regular listener Mabel has asked, "What do you think of Orange Cassidy and Red Velvet?" Well, I'm really into Red Velvet cake. That's like it's super nice,
God
especially from
damn it.
Costco.
I was going to make a joke as well. I was going to don't get too excited, you. It's not the cake.
Got that right. And Orange Cassidy, is that Quality Street?
It's kind of just
No, honestly, I googled it. I'm not a wrestling fan anymore. I'm a classic wrestling fan, so I'm going to put this over to the guys.
Out of the two,
The guys?
I'd probably say, again, I'm not big with wrestling anymore, especially not AEW, but out of the two, and the quick bit of research that I did, I'd go with Red Velvet, just because she's billed from straight out of Yo Mama's Kitchen, and I was like, that's the kind of attitude I like in a wrestler. I was like, I'll go with her.
she's a lot of fun to watch. Like a lot of fun to watch,
sake.
Michael. I don't know.
Right.
I'm doing that just to wake you up.
we need a thesaurus.
No. She's a great talent. Good in the ring. Came a long way since doing the independent stuff. Orange Cassidy is just like he's been memed to fuck for like the longest time. So the basically nonchalant, double denim, sunglass wearing, doesn't give a fuck kind of character that he does is it's fun, but it's one of those characters. It's just like you can only do so much. You're limited to that. So eventually, it's like what you would have with the older wrestlers that we used to watch. It's like, okay, you've got Goldberg, guy's a fucking machine, destroys people in 2 minutes. Okay, what happens when you put him in a match for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
What is it? You know what's going to happen. Same way we had like, Ultimate Warrior or any one of the guys that looked like they were just eating steroid pills. Just
Yeah.
So
Eating steroid pills, them. I'm not
Eating
sure you know
steroid-
how steroids work.
you get your bowl and you get your cereal of steroids and you put them all in.
that reminds me of.
Does that remind you of something?
Do you remember Josh Barnett,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the MMA fighter? Right, he was going to fight. This is almost related to wrestling because he is a pro wrestler.
He
as
did
well.
do wrestling, yeah.
He was going to fight Fedor in Affliction, but he got fucked for steroids. And like, I was on a forum. It was called Sharedog. It was a big MMA forum, and like someone was like, "Oh, that fucking Josh Barnett. He's always on the roids. I bet he's on the roids right now and stuff like that." And like, Josh Barnett came onto the thread and was like, "Yeah, I like nothing better than to get up and have a big bowl of steroids in the morning, and then have my sandwich with the steroids in between the meat and the cheese and stuff like that." And I was like, "Fucking hell, man! Imagine making a spicy take online and the guy comes on and
Defends
fucking
himself and fucks you over. Yeah.
trounces you. Imagine the fear in your body if you thought Josh Barnett was coming after you as well."
That's so funny seeing that online though when someone tries to slag a celebrity, and then the celebrity directly replies to them, and I was like, "Oh, I was only kidding. I'm a huge fan." You know, and they get pure shit scared that they get called out.
Yeah.
It's just the internet for you, innit?
Yeah, that's never happened to me. Roman Reigns music plays.
Yeah, you stood your ground, mate. You know.
I did. Fuck that guy.
Oh, man, that is still my favourite Twitter exchange. Roman Reigns fucked you up, man.
Yeah.
Please put that on. Please put it on the Instagram. You need to share that story.
You know
with
what? I
people.
will. Do you know what? See for like the next post, I will put that up because it is still
Right.
fun. Thanks for
Yeah,
that question, though, Mabel.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
Mabel.
thanks, Mabel. You
Thanks
got
for
us on
always giving us a wee question. It's always fun to get a wee discussion going.
If Dom shares that, Hamish has to share his DMs.
No, that's different, mate. That's so different.
So many confessions of love. We have one from this guy. that I full named earlier, and I won't full name him again. Tam. Who is the best on the podcast, and why is it a draw between me and Jason? Well, you and Jason aren't on this podcast because, you know, these aren't exciting. These aren't fun.
It is a draw between them at dead last,
Yeah.
in the 0/not in the podcast category.
Jeez.
Like, I don't. Calling our good friend out.
Are we coming in too hot here, Hugh?
Maybe.
One of our like 3 listeners.
Tam knows we love him, except when he plays fives.
Oh man. So when you play fives with him,
I know. I've never seen it, like someone get so angry, and then as soon as the game's finished, he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" You're like, "What's wrong with you?" Like,
even man when he's playing football.
I know. Like, I remember doing like, I'm bigger than him, so almost like I pushed him a little bit, and just the retaliation was well out of line, man. Like, he just came flying across the pitch, like slammed into me. I was like, okay, Tam, okay.
I can remember that one time that I nutmegged him and he was so angry with me, he just tried to nutmeg me for like, the rest of the game. It was so funny.
Dom, do you remember that game where you were fucking messy?
Yes.
You scored like 8 goals in one game,
Yes.
and like everyone was like, "What is going on with Dom?"
that was
like-
me eating my steroid rolls. No, do you know what it was? That's because I was started going back to the gym properly and eating properly. I started feeling a lot better, and then everything went to shit again.
All right.
That
He had
was the
one good
reason.
game, and then he retired from healthy eating and living.
Back on the pizza, boys. Pizza's back on the menu.
He peaked, and then he was like, "That's it. I don't need anything else."
I said,
We should have Tam and Jason back on the podcast soon. Jason would get on the podcast, but we can't.
Do you
get
know
him to
Tam's
shut
never
up
been
about
on?
running.
Tam's never been on the podcast.
I know Tam's never been on, but like he can come on eventually when we get back together and get the band back together.
Yeah,
See, you
that'll
were-
be good, man.
you
That'll
were
be
you
good.
were saying before, Dom, that like Jason, even though he knows that we do it like every week, or I can't remember if it was you, Dom, or you, Hugh, but you're saying like every week we do it at the same time, and we can't seem to tie him down, but we just need to find out what those wee people from Gulliver's Travels did to tie down a giant, and we'll just do that and get him to be on the podcast.
Oh, definitely. He will be. He would do that. But yeah, he might just like if you start talking about running, then that's it. That with the whole podcast, like 13 miles. We'll just call it 13 miles later.
Oh, man.
We'll turn into a fitness podcast for one episode.
Do you guys know I ran from here until 13 miles away? I was so good at it. Like, Jason, we know, man, you've told us. You made several Facebook posts and a family group chat about it. Like,
See, the
I
thing
know.
is as well, Jason is the type to run 13 miles away and not in a circle. Oh, how do I get home?
No, he did. He did. He got my mum to pick him up.
How did he actually?
Aye.
Oh, man. Where am I?
Jason and Tam should start their own podcast.
Yeah.
Do you know what, guys? That's what you should do. Then you can invite us on. That makes it
Aye.
easier. That's
Okay.
answer to the question, Tim. Make your own podcast and then invite us on. I mean, we might join. We might.
Make sure the young ones how to do it, you know.
We're veterans of this game now. What we got, like 8, 10 listeners? Listens?
Over all of our episodes.
And 3 of them are us.
Yeah,
So-
that's when I'm accidentally scrolling through Spotify and I hit our podcast. And, fuck God, I was looking for Taylor Swift, damn it.
See when Ross was part of the podcast and
Uh-huh.
Danny used to listen, his wife used to listen, and like she was like the most like supportive of everyone. My girlfriend is not interested in listening to us talk about games. She had to deal with that a lot as it is. Like she does not want to listen to our shite.
Doesn't need any
Like-
extra content, yeah.
No. She hears it all the time anyway.
Angie's a fan of us. She
Yeah.
does like listening to us.
The
I think that's
creator
like
of
a-
the term patchling and our awesome art and everything. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
Graphic.
she's weirdly supportive of us.
Why is it weird?
Well, she likes, she enjoys the content. As long as
It's like a mother when they're like their kid does something, like draws a really shitty picture and they put it on the fridge. Like, oh no, it's great. Don't worry, it's great.
Hugh, why are you doing this to our podcast? Don't
I'm doing it to you, Dom. I'm doing it to you.
Why are you doing it to me?
As soon as a couple of fucking hobbits have a podcast and ours is just out the window.
Hugh's like, fuck this Middle Earth shit. I'm going to join them.
I've already sent my application in. Like, hey guys, I know a lot.
I like the theme song, but did you go in the recording? Did you know Peter Jackson? Peter who? What?
Is this Game of Thrones?
Where the dragons? Where Cersei's?
Right, that's it for questions this week.
Thanks for the
Yeah,
question, Tam.
you,
Like
man,
even
can you just sound a bit more enthusiastic?
no.
I know,
No,
man. Like,
why-
that's
would
the
I li-
questions for this week, I guess.
oh, God.
Why would I lie to the people, Dom? Like, I'm
I
being
don't know.
myself.
Sorry, it's just like I know this is us just wrapping up, but it was just what. Anyway, guys, I was like, wow.
Anyway.
Anyway, boys.
Anyway. Right, that's us for this week after those excellent questions by our biggest fans. Dom, have you got anything to add this week? You got anything else to say?
So hopefully by the end of this week, I'll finish up Undertale completely, and I'll be looking to start a new game. I am looking at maybe starting Resident Evil Village. That would be a lot of fun to play that. A lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
But to be fair, I think the continuation of it would be great to play because, like, again, I love the demo, love the extra hour that they sort of gave you to do both parts of it. The controls are great. I'm just hoping that it's a decent story and Ethan gets a bit more of a character development rather than just a person that gets, like, stabbed and doesn't have much else to it. Just I'm stabbed and my hand's been cut off, but I'll staple it together and my leg got cut off and I'll staple that, and that's how anatomy works, right? And you're like, what? No, that's not how it works at all. But I'll let everyone know on the Patches In, on the Patches In channel, you'll see our schedule going up as well. Again, as usual, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays, GMT time.
Hamish, have you got anything to tell the fans before we go?
just get excited for the next podcast. I know this one was awful, but I'll be hosting next week. So
You heard it here next, guys. Next week's one's a skippable one.
get your questions and your comments or whatever into our socials that Hugh's going to rhyme off because he's the host.
Our Instagram's at patchesinofficial. Our email address is patchesin@gmail.com.
No.
Yes.
patchesinofficial@gmail.com.
Is it patchesinofficial@gmail.com? Sorry, I can edit this out. Our Twitch is twitch.tv/patchesingaming, and our Twitter is @patchesin. There you go, Hamish.
Thank you, Hugh.
Good test. I'm the fucking host. I thank you. Anyway.
Such an aggressive host. Like, if I come round and go to like a wee cocktail party with you, Hugh, you're like, here, have a drink. I'm like, oh, cheers, you, man.
And that's my job usually. Drink it.
Drink. You're not only like aggressive with your own drinking, you're aggressive with everyone else's.
Right, because I get drunk and I do some stupid shit. I don't want people remembering that. Everyone needs to be at least as drunk as I am.
Forget.
Right, okay. I'll be streaming Tuesday and Thursday. I don't know what I'll be streaming yet. I'll announce it on the Instagram for everyone to have a look at. Dom is giving me the skeptical eyes, but I'm giving him the fuck you eyes.
I can't see it. Your eyelids are closed. But there we are. That's a fuck you eyebrows, mate.
I know. Giant eyebrows. So, we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone. Say bye, Hamish and Dom.
Bye, Hamish and
Bye,
Dom.
Hamish, Dom.